Hi, Coach Bill Shea here. Welcome to Commit to Compete. In this video, we're going to talk about the one question that every competitive athlete should be asking themselves every day. And that is, how can I get better? That's it. Not, why doesn't the coach like me? Or how come I'm not playing? Or how can I get better? Because we know coaches want to win. We know the best players play. So if you want to play, you got to be one of the best players, right? So you have to ask yourself, how do I get better, right? How do I get better? And how do I get good enough to get in that lineup? Now, you might think you're good enough, but you're not. Because if you were, the coach would put you in there, right? So you got to be able to honestly evaluate yourself, right? Be honest with yourself. Recognize your shortcomings, right? And then attack them and make them strengths, right? Make weaknesses strengths, right? So, for instance, when I was got serious about basketball, I was I spent a lot of time shooting. I had bad form, but I could make them, and my ball handling was like bad, and I couldn't really go left that well. So right away, people were telling me, "Oh man, you got to be able to dribble the ball. You got to be able to go right and left." So I just started working on my left hand, working, fix that. Right? Kept shooting, right? So then I started working on, off the dribble, off the move. Started just getting my skills going every single day. And I could see the progress. I could feel the progress. And then I would just keep asking, how do I get better? How do I get better? What other drills can I do? So you always have to be in that mindset of how can I get better? I mean, you think about it, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, all these guys, these are the greatest players in the world. You know what? Every year on the off season, they work on something else, a different move, or maybe more inside game. Maybe I'm working on Magic, worked on his outside shot. LeBron worked on a little post stuff. I mean, these are guys that are the best players in the world. They're always working on something. So that means if you're 10, 11, 12, there's a million things to work on. What you have to do is work on the most important thing first, the fundamentals, right? I see too many kids, especially in basketball, just doing step back threes, and they're traveling, and they're not even doing they can't do the fundamentals, and they're out there trying to do stuff that only professionals can do. So if you're 10, 11, 12 years old, work on the basics, right? Find somebody that's going to be able to guide you and get you your fundamentals. I mean, if you want to get better, you got to be in a workout program like all the time. So physically, you got to stay in shape. There's no question about that. Especially if you're in the high school, you're in the high school age, man. You got to be getting after it with your skill, and you got to be getting after it in the weight room. Because if you're not, you're going to be falling behind. I remember Jerry Alamo he was a coach at Brown back in the 70s. So Coach Alamo had a great quote. I remember it made so much sense to me. And he said, every day that you don't work and the guy you're competing against you're losing ground. And every day that you work and he doesn't, you're gaining ground. So I remember when he said that, I thought to myself, because I remember I was in 9th grade, I was in catch-up mode. I felt like I was behind. I'm like, man, if I work every day, then no one can outwork me, right? If I work hard every day, then no one can really outwork me, and I'll be gaining on people. And it totally played itself out that way. Going from freshman hardly playing and starting on the varsity as a sophomore. So, just by changing my mentality and taking action, right? I didn't just change my mentality, but I took action. And not only did I take action, I took the right action. So wherever you are in your skills thing, I mean, ask different people to evaluate you. Ask them what they think. That's all I did. I would ask 10 guys, hey, what do you think I should work on? And 9 of them were saying, hey, you better work on your left hand. Or I'll work on shooting off the dribble. And then I would say, okay, yeah. And then I would see, oh yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about. And I would ask him, and you find mentors, right? And just keep taking that information. Some things, I used to get suggestions and I try them and I didn't like them, and I would just move on and do something else. Right, but always be in that receptive mindset of how can I get better. I mean, a coach could show you one drill that you can do to improve your footwork or improve your shot or improve anything, your swing, anything, and that could change everything for you. Okay? So you should always be asking yourself, how can I get better? Right? How can I get better? What do I need to do to get better? And then take action on that. And if you have that mentality, not, oh, I work so hard, but I don't get anything for it. Get away from me with that. I mean, you're not going to work hard for 2 weeks and get a payoff. It takes months, sometimes years, right? I've seen kids who started working hard when they were freshmen. They get the payoff when they're a senior, okay? I've seen guys who started working hard when they were freshmen and get the payoff when they were sophomores or right away. So it all depends on situations, who's in front of you. It depends on a lot of things that are out of your control. But what is totally in your control is how hard you work, right? And how hard you work on your skills and how hard you work on your body. Those two things are totally within your control, okay? So that's where I would put my focus, right? Develop your game, develop yourself as an athlete, as a skilled basketball player, as a skilled football player. So the more you bring to the table, then the more opportunity you're going to get to show what you can do. All right? So keep getting better and commit yourself to compete.